Hello everyone, my name is Steve TV Online, and I am going to be submitting Dreamworks Dragons Dawn of New Riders any percent VSync off to the marathon. So this is a little bit different of a game. It came out by Outright. It came out in 2019 by Outright Games. It follows the story of the How to Train Your Dragon series in between 2 and 3. So we're gonna be giving away a little bit of the story. In throughout this game. So if you haven't seen a bit of this, unfortunately, it is going to be spoiling a little bit of the game. But anyway, we are going to get started. VSync off is the most broken category of it. And I will try and be showing off every single one of the tricks and manipulations that come with that. So without further ado, we are going to start the game. The timing does not start right away. The timing will start the second that we skip out of this first cutscene here. So timing begins in 3, 2, 1, and start. So the game starts off with Hiccup and Toothless coming down as they see Havenholm, this island, burnt, and they don't know why it's burnt. So they're going to be looking around, and when they are looking around, they happen to look over to the right, and they see somebody over to the right. They go and ask this person exactly who they are, and they say, I have no idea. I just woke up here. I don't know my name. I don't know where I'm at. Well, there's a dragon egg there. Is that your dragon egg? He says, no, I don't know whose dragon this is. He says, well, Hiccup says, well, this is your dragon egg now. By the way, what's your name? I don't know my name. Okay, well, I'm going to name you Scribbler because it looks like you've been writing a little bit of scribbles inside of your notepad there. So we're going to name you Scribbler. Then they're going to hear a roar go over the entire area, and Hiccup and Toothless are going to be flying overhead to try and find out where that roar is coming from, and they're going to say, well, if you run into any trouble, there just happens to be 2 chests over there that allow for you to defend yourself. One is going to be an axe, and one is going to be a shield, and both of those will be able to help you in case you get into any issues whatsoever. So go ahead and take those at your convenience. So he says, Scribbler's sitting over here, and he says, oh, hi, Egg, how are you? And then all of a sudden, somebody takes it. We don't know who this guy is. We don't know what's going on. We just know that they're trying to take the egg. So, without further ado, he just decides, hey, you know what? I think this is an emergency situation. I'm going to go ahead and take that axe and the shield out of here, and we're going to continue on. So this is where we go into a little bit of our movement-based stuff. So the fastest movement in this game is going to be this movement you're going to be seeing me do right here. This is attack canceling. So if you roll and then you attack, or you attack and then roll, you can move your character forward in this fast movement that you see here. And this was found by MOD 366. He was able to go and find this technique because he thought, well, movement or rolling makes you go faster, and attacking moves you forward just slightly when you're moving, so why not just combine both of them together to see what happens? And what do you know? It actually worked. So if you mess up, you can just get right back into it. You just have to attack first and then do the roll. Most of the time you roll and then attack to get it going. Okay, so now we're coming up onto our next skip. So normally this is a tutorial section telling you how to fight. But we already know how to fight since we're playing the game over and over again. We know how to fight. And then we're going to just skip past the cutscene. We're going to be doing that a lot in this game. And that, right there, that potion that I pick up, I used to make fun of MOD 366 for that one, and I call it the MOD potion. But this potion is actually for safety purposes. I take it in every single one of my runs now for a later boss fight that we have to run into. So these guys right here are like, so you're the person that they found. This is your egg. And he says, this isn't my egg. I don't know where it's coming from. But then the egg hatches and it explodes when it happens, knocking the guys back and then freeing him from the cage. They say, Scribbler says, you don't want to mess with me, otherwise you don't know what's going to happen with this dragon. I'm going to summon him to attack him on you guys. And they say, well, we don't want to mess with that, but this is the last you heard of us. When in actual reality, it is The Last of Us. And so, right here we have Scribbler and Hiccup talking about what this new dragon looks like. He looks like he's a mixture of a bunch of different dragons all combined together. Kind of like a chimera. Chimeragon! Yeah, that's it. But what should we name him? Then, with all the creativity that comes with this game, Scribbler decides to say, well, it looks like he's just patched together, patchwork. Why don't we call him Patch? So Hiccup's like, that's a great idea! So Patch and Scribbler are going to be our main characters throughout this entire game, and we're going to be using them a lot to our advantage here. So next we're going to go into our next trick, which we're only going to use a couple of times throughout this run. This is the most important one of the entire thing. And that's going to be doing this terror mail thing. Normally you wouldn't, this is a whole cutscene where you're not supposed to be able to move, but after you get out of a terror mail, you're able to switch your characters and move them around for no reason whatsoever. So we're going to take Scribbler all the way up here, and doing so will allow for us to hopefully get up here. I have to listen in for just a second. Once the music ends, we're going to walk through that, because otherwise it's going to allow for us to, otherwise we just have to do the walk of shame if you go in too early, which is just making our character go very slow there. So you're going to be hearing this attacking motion a lot throughout the game. And also what you saw me do is, now that we have both of our characters here, it's going to allow for us to switch. And if you switch between characters while you're going into a cutscene that you know is there, and you roll, then switch back to the other character, it will allow for you to completely skip actions, which is one of them right here. We're going to move back a little bit just so Scribbler follows us. And if this works out correctly, as long as we're running in a precise pathway here, Scribbler will follow us, go over here, and then we're going to roll past this cutscene, then we're going to switch over to Scribbler, do that, and now Scribbler, normally if you don't go back for that, like, split second, he will fight those enemies that are out there, so as long as you run in the correct path that I just did there, he will not fight those enemies. So as you saw, we just skipped multiple different cutscenes as well as a battle. So normally what this game does is it realizes that you go through a fight cutscene and then you have to fight. However, if you know where all of those cutscenes are and you roll into the cutscenes and then switch back, then it allows for you to completely skip cutscenes that you would normally have to do fights for, because the fights are activated once and once only. So even if you do activate a fight cutscene, the game will then, if you go out of that area and then back in, the barrier that was there normally would just be down anyway, so you can just get past the cutscenes. So there's only specific fights that you have to do throughout this game entirely, and that is not one of them. I will let you know when some of those fights have to happen. So what's happening here is that Scribbler is trying to remember all of his memory because he doesn't know where he's at or who he is. Scribbler has completely lost his memory. So he's just saying, I know what's important and I really want to get it back, so we'll try and find out who you are and find out who I am. There we go, we're going to cut down this tree and go in here, and then we're going to do another cut. See, we have to wait for everybody to come in here. There we go. There we go, now we're going to roll up here, and then we're going to go into another one of our skips using the switching. So we're going to do that to skip past that, and then we're going to switch, and then it's going to switch the Z-axis, I believe is what it is. The Z-axis is going to allow for us to, it thinks that we're on that axis up above us, and it's going to teleport us up for no reason whatsoever, so we don't, that actually is the fastest way to skip that fight, otherwise we would have had to fight right there. There we go, and now we have one more right here, and that's going to be right at this patch right there. So, this movement that I'm using is actually kind of difficult to control. As long as you know where you're going, then it makes it a little bit easier. Because, you can attack, and then when you do that attack, you cannot control it. So you have to make sure you know where you're going at that moment. Alright, so right here is one of my harder ones. I never remember where it is. like that. So this will get to show off. So that cutscene is what's supposed to happen normally. So we're just going to run out. We're going to run back in, and now we don't have to worry about that skipping that cutscene anymore. For some reason, I always struggle with that one for no reason whatsoever. So here we go. We're going to run all the way over here. We're going to do one more roll skip. There we go. That was to skip fighting this dragon right here. We're going to run over here, and we are going to be done with Havenholm. So each area has a bunch of different... it has 3 different sections. It has the regular area, it has the runes section, and then it has the boss. We just got past the first area, which is regular Havenholm. Now we're going into the Havenholm runes. And in here, this is where we find Astrid and Stormfly, and they are saying that we are getting close. We are getting closer to the roar. It's closer than ever. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through the runes by skipping a whole right side of the runes here. Normally, you would have to go through the left and the right in order to completely get to where you need to go. We're going to wait for Astrid to laugh. That's how we know that that's the last one. Then we're going to switch back over to Scribbler. And Scribbler is right here. There we go. We're going to go over here. And now we're going to go over to the left-hand side over here. And we're never going to touch that right side. Even though it tells us to go over that way, we don't need to do it. Because we're going to be using, once again, one of our... Ah, that sucks. Sometimes you can get lucky and he will roll and continue rolling and you would be able to walk through there without having to move. I don't know how to do the switch there to skip that cutscene, but it's very short, so it's not really worth it. So right there, we're going to hit that. We're going to roll through that as Patch. Then we're going to push Scribbler over that way. We're going to roll through that, and that allows for us to move, so we don't have to wait for the cutscenes. Right here is our first fight that we actually have to take. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just do a wide attack like that, and hopefully, yep, that's exactly how we want that fight to go. That's perfect. Because in your backswing and then attack forward, it hits the guy behind you. Then we're going to grab this. We're going to equip it. Then we're going to travel back to the first screen here. This is good. The game still thinks we're all the way over there. Then it's going to go black there. Sometimes you can get going up there. I just went over a little bit too far. But now we have ourselves the hammer, and we are never going to go back to the axe ever again. We're just going to be using this hammer. So right here, we're going to be doing an up warp. This is why we don't have to go on the right-hand side. We just up warp up to here, and that allows for us to completely skip having to go over to the right-hand side to move that block. The hammer allows for us to hit these large blocks that the axe does not allow for us to do. Otherwise, we wouldn't be even getting this hammer. So now we're going into our first puzzle of the game, I would say. There's another roll there. We're going to hit this. We're going to go up here. We can hit this over, hit it over again. Then we're going to go over here, hit this down, maybe. It likes to do that to me. And that is that puzzle is solved. So normally you wouldn't be able to hit stuff over like that. However, if you just stand over there like I did, you're able to hit it. Then we're going to roll down here, and hopefully these dragons are out of my way. That's good. And now we're going to go in here. And this is where we're going to meet a new character. We don't know what this character's name is, but she kind of seems important because she knows exactly what this dragon is. I had a dragon like that once. Wait, you had a Chimeragon? Chimeragon. Clever name. Well, you're bothering me from my studies, so I'm going to leave now. So she does, and then we roll into here. And then when we roll into here, we have one of the funniest cutscenes, I think, in the entire game. This is Astrid. Astrid, do you need help? No, Stormfly and I have got it. Not really. I think it's just you, Astrid. Stormfly is just watching. Stormfly could easily hold that door much better than you could. I'm sorry to tell you, Astrid. But then we're going to be going into... We're going to be going into here, and we're going to see the person again, and we're going to see a dragon. This dragon has something on its back. It's mixed with Chimera. It's mixed with Grimora venom and dragon vine bulbs. I'm glad I had that memorized. It controls dragons to her whim. She had a dragon that was like the Chimeragon once, and she lost it. So now she wants all the dragons to be like her to help destroy the other dragons so nobody else can have them. So we're going to run up this way, and we're going to do a manipulation that I found. So somebody accidentally got this glitch once, and then I was able to re-manipulate, or redo it and find the actual manipulation. So we're going to go up here, and we're going to hit her once there. That's going to allow for her to do that again. Then we're going to move Patch over here, and we're going to stand right here, as close as we can. We're going to wait for the camera angle to move when he flies up into the air and stand on it. And if we do it correctly, this is going to make him fly over here instead of land down and skip the entire phase of him shooting out fire. So doing this will allow for us to stun lock her. Normally she would be flying away at this point. Then we're going to go over here and we're going to do this. And got a 1 cycle on her. That's exactly what we wanted to do. Okay, we need to do this again. Hopefully we can get it. And we did! We got both! That's perfect. We didn't get the perfect fight. Normally you can hit her if you're up there fast enough. You can actually hit her and potentially stun lock her into being up there. But that was a perfect manipulation for the dragon, the hot purple fight. So after this, we're going to say, why did this person want to control all these dragons? We have no idea. So we're going to send over a terror mail talking about this person and who she is, because we don't exactly know who she is at the moment. So now, since we got a terror mail, it's going to allow for us to move our characters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this really funny glitch that happens. Normally the dragons, the dragon riders would be on, we would be standing in the middle, and you would see right now that Patch has now grown bigger and gained another ability, which is thunder, instead of just the ice. But then afterwards, we're going to go on top of the dragon to fly off to go off. So so this is going to happen right here. Now that I've flown away, it's going to make him slide all the way over that way, and we are actually just going to take off still. I found it used to be a lot simpler, like it would be a lot closer, but I found that out recently, and it makes it even funnier. So now we're going to be flying in the air. Not only did he grow up, but he also spawned a saddle on his back somehow. We don't know how he spawns that saddle, but he just does. So this is just completely useless. This is just like, Patch, you're a Broodwing now. You can fly. So why not fly back over to Havenholm, which we're going to go to, and we'll talk to everybody there to find out about this about that girl. So now we're going. What I'm doing when I'm flying is I'm actually stopping early. I know exactly when the land animation is going to happen. So the faster that I stop, the faster that I can fly down. And now we are going to roll into here, and they're going to talk about, so why would this person, we kind of know who this person is. Her name is Air. And we find out that Air, if you've played a little bit of School of Dragons, Air is the sister of the evil Nakora, Nakora in that game, and they both escaped once Drago Bloodfist attacked and killed their father, and she lost her arm in the escape. Then we come to find out that he's gaining a little bit of his memory back, and this girl, he realizes how he got there. He saw somebody with very pale skin, and he had a giant Titan wing, and he flew off with it and flew to here, but that's the last he could remember. And so, if you know what he's talking about, the person with the pale skin happens to be Grizzled the Grizzly from Hidden World. So now we're going to be heading over to Valko's Mountain, and if you don't know what Valko's Mountain is, I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil it a little bit, but Valka happens to be Hiccup's mother that we see at the end of 2 and is important in 3. So this is her domain of where she normally is. We unfortunately will not see her, but we are going to be going there. Alright, so now we're going to fly all the way over here, and we are going to try to, because this is the last that we heard of Air is going over here to Valka's Mountain. And so we're going to travel over there to try and stop her again. So this boss right here that's in Valka's Mountain is the reason that I'm saving my MOG potion here. And we're going to do that. And that's an important skip for Astrid skip, because if we don't skip that, she's going to give us a Horn of Vermilion, which is actually important if you're playing it casually, but if you're playing it on here, it's actually even longer cutscenes. So every time we run into Astrid, we want to skip her. So right here, you're going to be seeing me do a spin move with Patch. This move is never mentioned inside of the game at all about how to do it. We think it was just an oversight that the creators left in. Oops. Oh well, that's fine. I do that all the time. Oops. Okay, that's fine. Once again. And now we're going to go back in here. Now we won't need to worry about it. But we think it's a oversight that the developers left in the game, which caused it's the strongest attack in the game. We can destroy enemies in one hit doing that spin attack. So right here, we're going to go over here, and we're just going to roll over here. That allows for us to completely skip over the entire puzzle and just finish up this screen. So in Valka's Mountain, every screen but one screen in this level has a skip involved with it. So unfortunately, we did not get it there. Or we did get it there. The next one is the hardest one for some reason. I can practice this and practice it, get it all in practice, and then when I try it here, I just miss it entirely. There we go, we got it. So I completely skipped the fight there. It's a fast fight, fortunately, if you miss it, but you definitely want to skip it. So right here is the first skip that was ever shown off to one of the developers, and they were okay with it. And there we go, we completely skipped that. So now we have another one here. We don't have to, it will show the person. However, they made this so easy to go around that we just go around it. Then after that, in order to get up to the top, we are just going to do our up warp that we've done a couple other times. And with that, we're going into the next section. And we are going to skip another fight going in. Now we're getting close to the section where VSync off is actually different from VSync on category. And that's going to be, is it this screen? Or the screen after? One of these, okay, it's this screen. So, what's going to happen is normally you would have to go up top and you would have to go and hit use lightning to open these up. However, with VSync off, it's going to allow for us to completely do something different. We're going to push Patch through there, and then we're going to do it one more time, and that allows for us to completely skip having to go up top, hit a button, and then come back down and go through those. Alright, so this screen is very simple. It's another, we're going to be doing some more up warps, but in a different sense than we have in the past here. So we're going to, instead of solving the puzzle, we're just going to up warp ourselves up to the exit here. So there's one, and there's two. We just up warp ourselves and got into the next section, and we're going to do the same exact thing in this section right here. So we're just going to roll, up warp, and then we're going to go over here, and we're going to, oops, I didn't roll, that's fine. We're going to roll, up warp, and there we go. Now this screen, cool, I got it. I struggle with that screen a lot. As long as I'm going through here Scribbler will follow me. If you're close enough, he will follow. We don't want him to fight enemies here. So this is the only screen in all of Valka's Mountain that does not have a skip. If you're a glitch hunter, please come to us and try and find a skip for getting to the end, because we found out that you can actually, as long as you're there, you can actually up-warp up onto those other platforms, so we could just up-warp and go through. So if we could find a way to get down below, then it would be perfect. Because if you go through the screen and come back down, you can roll off the edge over there and go down and up-warp back up, because these won't be there. So now we're going on to... okay, this screen. So we need to make sure to... there we go, we got it. Cool, Scribbler's up here with me. Not fighting anybody. Then we need to go fast. Ah! You can completely skip this. If you can hit that... if you can hit this at the same time, it will only show this screen, it won't show that other one. But... that's fine. It's not that big of a time loss. We're going to go over here, and we're going to do the easiest skip in the entire game. You can do this on casual. Run over here, fall down, and you just solved the entire puzzle. You don't have... this is like a 4 or 5 minute screen that you have to do. And then we're going to go through here. We're going to do one more skip, if I can get it. There we go. And then we're going to go over here, and we are now done with Valka's Mountain, going into the Valka Ruins. Valka runes are also broken in a way. I'm going to try one skip, one time only. If not, it's not worth it to do again, because it just wastes time. It saves just a tad bit of time when you're, if you're playing normally. So in here, we say, oh, we heard a roar in here. Oh, we heard a roar when we were running around, and we thought that you would be here too. So Stormfly and I just decided to go over here. But in order to do that, you had to get all the ice. We don't know how to get into there. So now we are going to go through all of this section. And... here we go. We're going to take control of Patch here. And we're going to... this is one of the more recent ones, as in, like, about a year ago this trick was found. It just completely skips having to go up top and fight all those dragons. And then we're going to go into this section, which does not have a skip. We're just going to hit these. Cool. Did not hit the other one down. Okay, I'm going to try the trick once and once only. So this saves a little bit if you can get it first try. Got it. Okay. So normally you would have to stand on the switch that was there with Scribbler. But if you can just knock your way around there, you can go in there right away and not have to stand on it and waste a little bit of time for waiting for that to open up. It's safer the Scribbler way, but it's a lot more fun when you do it the patch way. Alright, so now we're going to go in here and we have another puzzle. Now this puzzle, for some reason, I will never forget this puzzle. I had to de-rust this game a little bit ago to try and remember the routing. But this is the one puzzle that I always remembered for some reason. It's super simple. It's stuck in my brain for some reason. Then we're going to go in here, and we're going to fast travel back to the very beginning. We're still going to stay as Scribbler, and then we're going to go down here. Now, right here, we have to make sure that we hit this, as well as run through this without... okay, good. Because if we didn't go through here while it was in the middle of the cutscene, then we wouldn't be able to turn back around while we hit that. So now we're going to go down here. It would also not allow for us to do this part, where if we switch over to Scribbler, we're automatically able to move. Okay, and like that, we're gonna switch over to Patch once again, and we're gonna go up here. We're gonna hit that. So the lightning ability, this is gonna be important for later on. The lightning ability is actually the longest ability for us to be able. It has the longest distance for it. So now we're going to go down here. Then go up here. Oops! I went the wrong way, I'm sorry. We are not going to go up there. Oh, wow, I haven't done that in a long time. We're going to go through here, over this ice block that we hit. And then we're going to go through here. Now we're going to run up here, and then we're going to do another thing that MOD366 found, or he told me to do. Get on this ice and turn right back around and shoot. It should hit it automatically, which it did not. That's fine. There we go. Fourth time. Not too bad. You would like it on first or second, but whatever. So now we're going to go through here, and we're going to switch over to Scribbler again, because we have another ice puzzle that we have to solve. And this one, once again, very easy to solve. Just go this way, down, and our last one is right there. Perfect. So we have one more ice block to solve, and in order to do that, we are going to stay as Scribbler here. We're going to go in here. We're going to fast travel back to the beginning, and we're going to go up here. We're going to do an attack again, so we don't have to move. Go down here and hit that. Then we're going to roll down here, and unfortunately we cannot move. We always get stuck right there. So we're going to go down here. Cool. We have one more skip right here. Going to wait now. Cool. That's actually a really long cutscene if you get stuck by it. I'm more of a visual person. Once you know where all of the cutscenes are, and you can skip almost all of them. And that is one of the ones that took me a long time to know where the visual of that was. Alright, so we're going to go in here, and now she's going to talk about, we're going to say, we know your name, Air. Air, join us. We can help you. I know you've had bad stuff happen to you, but please, we promise you we're good. Why would you want to destroy all the dragons? Dragons are supposed to be roam free. Be good. And she says, I will not join you. I've had way too many memories. I've been betrayed way too many times. That's how I lost my arm. And we're like, please, just join us. She's like, no, I will not join you. I want to take all the dragons for myself using this mixture. And he's like, okay, well, if you're not going to join us, then we must stop you. So the dragons will be with us to be free. And she disappears. So normally she's supposed to be using her rope there, but for some reason she just likes to disappear. Okay, so this is Stormcutter. Stormcutter is not broken, but he has manipulations or places to stand without getting hit. The hardest part of this fight, and the reason that we saved the potion, is fighting Air after this fight. So that was the first phase. There's 3 phases to each one, and then we have to stand right here for this phase. Other than that, we usually don't stand here for other stuff. So he's going to go here, and then we're going to run right over here. The second that he flies up into the air, we are going to shoot this. That's an early cycle. Then I'm not sure if this works, but it's been working the past couple of times. I'm going to switch over to Scribbler. Attack her, which allows for her hitbox to become available, and then I use that to my advantage to... That's what I didn't want to happen, but that's fine. That's perfectly fine. It wasn't during the air fight. So now this is Phase 2. Phase 2 allows for us to... we have to stand behind these ice blocks to dodge everything, but make sure that we don't get hit by those ice, which I did once, and you saw I got frozen. I wasn't able to move as fast. And we do it 3 times once again. And the best way is to make sure that neither one of them get hit. So now we're going to wait for a second. It's going to fly up above us. Once he disappears off the screen, I'm going to count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go to the center, and I'm going to do this again. I think it brings her... That stun locks her into that position so we can hit her in the back. Then we have the last phase, which I will give a shout out to MOD366 one more time. So he's up there. We're going to run down here. This will allow for us to completely stay in this position and not get hit by the fire. This used to be the hardest part for me, but once I was given a visual of how this fight actually works, it allowed for us to completely skip having to worry about that. He's in the middle, so we're going to go up top. We cannot get hit while we're up top. If they're up top, we're going to go in that spot down below on either side to completely dodge it. If it's on the middle or bottom, we're going to stand in that position that I just was. On both sides, we're going to do that exact thing. Down in the bottom, so we're going to stand up here. That's good, because that allows for us to not have to move again when it comes time. So we're going to stand up here because it has one more phase, and it's going to go all the way around the arena here. And if we stand right here for the first phase, we won't get hit. Then we're going to stand in the center. We won't get hit. Then we're going to go over here, and we cannot get hit. So now we're going to wait for him to finish roaring. Once he finishes roaring, then we're going to count to 6. Then we're going to hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Comes down, we attack, and that will be the last phase of that. Now this is the hardest phase of air. She can hurt us quite a lot. There we go. That was almost a perfect fight. We still have the health potion for later on too, which is perfectly fine. We will take that, because we might need it later on. But anyway, that is the end of that fight, and we're gonna talk, and she's like, "That's enough air. We freed up another one of your Titan wings." And she's like, one day I will do this. I will take over all these dragons. That dragon is gonna become mine, just like my original dragon that I had. And we're like, so now we know why. We know about Patch, but unfortunately, because he's a Chimeragon and that she made a type of Chimeragon, she knows how it happens. But he's going to constantly be aging up. That's why he changes and grows bigger and all this stuff. Is because he's aging. It's because of the Chimeragon growing a lot faster. But he also became that. This makes him become a Titan Wing. Now that he has fire, ice, and lightning now. And the fire is going to be important in the next section. We're going to be using it to our advantage. Alright, so now we're going to fly off and we're going to head back to Havenholm after all of that. And we are going to go... so one thing that we did when we left Havenholm the first time is we went and we skipped an entire dialogue box by flying away early. And so, because of that, we are going to go back into here and we're going to have another dialogue box that we're going to have to watch. This normally wouldn't happen if you were playing this casually, but because we did go so fast, it's making it so we do this. So we're just going to fly over Havenholm, do a couple of barrel rolls that do absolutely nothing for us, and then we're going to fly over here, get the dialogue box. So, one thing that I'm going to say is, in the middle of these flying sections, it's going to be the best time for donations to be read during any of this. And a little bit during the fights, I will also be able to say, because there's just a lot of same stuff happening. But other than that, there's quite a bit going on in this run. It's actually quite fast-paced, if I do say so. Some people might not think so. So now it's saying Air. She's the only one that might know about it. And this is where we find out actually about the combination of what the two items are for the stuff that's controlling. So now we're going to be just walking around here. This is the talking section. There isn't really anything going on. Alright, then we're going to fly off and we're going to head over to Bloodbriar. And Bloodbriar has quite a few skips, and a lot of them have to do with having V-Sync off, including one of the hardest and most inconsistent tricks that we have. But I'm going to be doing it anyway. So here we go, we're flying off here. And there's going to be another dialogue box here that just says, okay, this is it. We're heading over to Bloodbriar. We'll take on Air, stop her, and maybe help fix you, Patch. So now we're going to go over here, and once again, this is a flying section, so it would be a perfect time to read donations during it. But other than that, I'm going to be flying over here, and once again, I'm just going to slow down. Once we head over a certain tree, I'll tell you when that is. It's in these 2 patches of trees right here. We're going to fly over right there, and then we're going to slow down. I was a little bit early, but that's fine. And now we have one more. We have technically 2, but this is one of the harder Astrid skips. And it's, once again, one of the longer Astrid skips that we have to deal with. So we're just going to be controlling Patch for most of this level here. So here we go. Cool, got the Astrid skip, and now we're going to go into the next section. We're going to switch to fire because we're going to have a cutscene right here, and then we're going to be doing an up warp. This is the most recent skip that was found. Come on through. This is the most recent skip that was found, so we're going to go all the way over here. We're going to up warp right here. We're going to travel all the way over here, attack that. Then we're going to go up here. We're going to roll, up warp, and we have now made it through. So normally you would have to go all the way around that level and go up. However, you can just do that and save a little bit of time with having to go all the way around. So normally in this this mist right here, you would use your fire to traverse your way through it. And there would also be arrows attacking you at the same time. However, we know exactly where we have to go, being the speedrunners. There's nothing in this section right away. This is also the most unfortunate. We have to make sure that we for sure skip this section, because this actually has the, if you miss it, has the longest backtrack to try and fix your mistake section in the entire game. So we have to make sure that we roll right there. Got it? Am I going to get captured? Aha! We saved a little bit of time there. So, you can get captured there. By the trappers that we have there, but... Oh, and by the way, this is also another trick that was just found. You can just roll around that. Saves a little bit of time. No! That's fine. That's perfectly fine. A little bit of a backtrack isn't that big of an issue. Go back through here. I used to never mess that up, and now I mess it up quite a bit. But, like I said, it's not that big of an issue. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to run around, dodging all these enemies once again. Alright, so this is, I think, one of the only screens in the entire game where there's absolutely zero going on. There's no tricks and no puzzles to solve, it's just running. That's all we're doing in this stage. There's nothing, I don't even think there's anything to collect. There might be 1 or 2 things to collect. But then after that we go into, okay, the hardest trick in the entire game. We're going to roll onto this, we're going to fall off, we're going to set this up for the next person to come through. We're going to do that. We're going to switch over to Scribbler. Hopefully he goes through. We're going to run up here. And now comes the most finicky trick in the entire game. We're going to stand right there, go over here. We're going to push him through. Nope, didn't push all the way through. That's fine. Going to push through. Going to move forward. Switch. And there we go. We did it first try. Let's go. So that's a VSync off exclusive trick. So, normally you would have to go over, fight a dragon, then go to the other side as well and activate something on that other side. However, if you just do that trick like that, it works. We're going to roll through here, then we're going to go over here, and we're going to stand all the way over on the left-hand side here. This will allow for us to skip any holes that are like that. Luckily, I didn't fall all the way in, so I could just up warp. So now we're going to switch over to Scribbler. Then we're going to switch over back to Patch, and we're going to go up here, hit that, and then we're going to roll off. Cool. And now go into here, and we have another very important skip that's going to happen up here, but it's not that big of an issue. It's just a small fight if we end up failing it. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to hit the ice there, and we're going to roll right there. Perfect. Got the skip, and then we're going to continue on. Now we're going to go up here. And we're going to switch over to lightning. This is a cutscene that I don't even know if it's possible to skip over this. It's just going to show this area. So this is another VSync off exclusive area. Normally you would have to hit all 3 switches, but on VSync off, you don't have to. So once again, we're going to go... Oh, that's not good. Okay, that's fine. We're going to go all the way over here and skip past that is what I was going to say, but unfortunately we did not skip past that. But that's perfectly fine. We are going to be falling down in a hole over here on purpose, right here, because it gets us closer to this area over here, which we're going to be going over this way to get our second switch. Normally you would have to hit 3. Where I spawned from that fall that I did right there, there's another switch over that way that we'd have to go to, but instead we just have to hit those 2, and then we're just going to be doing that push maneuver that we did before. So I only got hit by 1, which is perfectly fine. Then we're going to push him through, and we're going to walk through. So I have to say, every time when I get to this spot, I knew getting this game that I was going to be doing speedruns of this game. So I have casually not played this part of the game at all. All of Bloodbriar, I should say. But according to other people, this skips the entirety of a puzzle, and the puzzle takes upwards 3 or 4 minutes, I believe. Skips out quite a bit of the game itself. And we're going to go up here. We're going to hit both of these at the same time if I can. Perfect. So now it's going to do both of the cutscenes at the same exact time, which is what we want. Then we're going to control Scribbler here for the sole purpose of Patch has a lot more health than Scribbler does, and we just don't want him to die. So now we're going on to one of the hardest skip sections for me. The tree, and then roll. Cool. Got it first try. We're going to go over here. We need the ice. Ice again, and then we're going to do another roll skip, and then we're going to go over here, get our last one. And now we're going into Bloodbriar Rune. Bloodbriar Rune has some of the coolest skips in the entire game, and I absolutely love it. Because, for one, there's one more Astro skip, and that skip was set up by me to do it. It used to be a lot harder. We didn't know where it was, but so first off, we're going to do another roll to skip that. We already have ice, so we hit that and hit that. That's going to be important for the ice, because we cannot hit those blocks when they are all fire, like that. We have to make sure that we hit it with the ice before we hit it, otherwise he will get hurt and won't hit it. So now we're going to go over this way, and we're going to stand here, we're going to roll, and now we just skipped the last asteroid of the game. That was found by me, that setup. So now we have another one right here, we're going to roll, skip that. Oops. There and there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hit that, and we're going to hit that. We're going to hit that over, going to hit that. Then this is going to... Oops. Do that, and do that. Then we're going to go over here, hit that, and hit that. Hit that. Hit that. Then we're going to go over here, and like I said, lightning is the longest one. You can hit it from all the way over there in the middle of the cutscene. Then we go into a very important one. Make sure he gets in here all the way. We're going to roll past that fight with the dragon. The dragon won't bother us. Then we're going to go over here. Normally we would have to go over to the other side and hit other switches. You could just activate the final switch by standing right here in a specific area. Cool, and I got the skip too. So if you roll in a precise way there, you can do that. You can control a little bit early. We also skipped a early cutscene by doing that as well. And now we're going into the biggest skip in the entire game for VSync off. Normally you would have a whole nother level to go through on VSync on. But you can push Patch through here. We made it. We're gonna fall down here. We're gonna up warp, and we've now just completely skipped an entire floor of this level. Then we go into an even cooler skip. So right here, this is my favorite skip in the game. We're gonna touch just a little bit off that way. That's gonna activate a cutscene. That fight is a very long cutscene, but we're gonna go over here and we're gonna roll on that. We're gonna go up here, and we have just completely skipped that entire fight. There we go. Now we're gonna go through here. And we're going to go into an unskippable cutscene. It's impossible to skip this cutscene. Don't say that it is. It is not possible to skip this cutscene. It's not that long, luckily. We're going to go over this way. Oops. And we're going to hit that. Roll down here. Go through here. And now we're going to be doing instead of a up warp, we're going to be doing another down warp. And it skips walking down some areas and through multiple different spikes. You can just down warp right here, go over this way, and over here. Alright, so now we just got through all of Bloodbriar runes. We're going to go into second to the last fight. And these last fights are actually quite simple. It's kind of weird, because this is supposed to be one of the longer fights in the entire game by going back and forth and, wow, that was weird. Hitting a bunch of chains. You're going to see chains on this dragon right here. This is the Crimson Gore Gutter. And this is a Titan Wing, the biggest Titan Wing, the most dangerous one, and she has control of it. But not only one, but three. That's the only way she can control it. And normally you would have to destroy all three of those in order to stop it. However, we're going to cheese this boss a little bit. You'll see when I get up there, and I'll explain it a little bit. But she says this is your last chance. Just join us. That's all you need to do. I am done dealing with this. She says, I'm going to do this for myself. Once I have control of your dragons, I'm just going to stop you. And then I can control all the dragons that I want to. So, we're controlling Skriller for this first one because we actually have to move this block over. Right there. And then we're just going to do our cheese. So normally you'd have to go up here and do other stuff, but we're going to stand right here, and hopefully I have the right... I believe I have the right angle. We're going to see. So if I have the right angle here, what's going to happen is I'm going to... Yes, I do have the right angle. Okay, so that was 2. I had to hit him 10 times standing right here. This is one of the faster ways to do this fight. So I'm hitting the other one over there because if I can do this correctly, if I can hit him 2 more times when he comes down like this. Oops. Did not do it correctly. That's fine. So what can happen there is if I was standing in the right spot, I would have been able to hit his head multiple times while he was just jumping around like that. Okay, we're almost done. This was unfortunately a little bit slower because I messed it up a little bit. Look, I think he has 2 or 1 more hit, which we should be able to get. There we go. So now we're going to become Skriller one more time to get us out of here. And as you can see, the chains are still attached to him because we kind of just did something that we weren't even supposed to do. Alright, and with that, we're going on to the final boss, and you'll never guess who the final boss is of this game. That's right. It's Air. So, we say, Air. We can get you another dragon. We can help you. She's like, no. He's like, fine. Then if you won't join us, can you help me figure out how to heal Pat? She says, sure. I know a way to do it, but he's gonna stay like this forever, and he's gonna be under my control. We're like, we would never do that. She's like, okay, fine. In that case, I'm going to stop you for myself. I'm not going to use any of my dragons. I'm taking revenge, just like my father did, to try and stop it. And then we go into the final fight. Now, after this final fight, the time does not end. We have a little bit. But I want to, while we're during this, actually I'll wait until a little bit, but all we have to do in this fight is run around in circles. It's very anticlimactic for the final fight. We're literally going to be running around in circles. We're going to take control of Patch here and run around in circles while she throws stuff at us. She's going to go through every single one of her potions there. And I have to make sure that I'm up here when she runs down here so I can roll into her and I can stun lock her so she can't do anything. She did throw something, but that's perfectly fine. So now we're going to run around in another circle and do the same exact thing. She's very intimidating when she throws stuff at you, but it's not that big of an issue. Stun locked again. She hit me once again. Oh. I used the potion just because. There's literally no reason for us to have used that potion. This is the most dangerous wave. There we go, we got it, and that was a perfect air fight. Alright, she's gonna say, Air! This place is falling down, come with us! She says, never! I will join you, Father, in Valhalla. She gets killed. And then we go, and we fly away again, and we travel off to the final area. We're gonna go back to, Havenholm. And this is when the best music comes in. So you're gonna notice how tired he is. He's just been like gaining more and more age, and he just had this big fight against a giant Gorgutter as well as Air, and we're just flying back. But we're gonna get to the very end, and he's gonna be able to take a little bit of a rest here. So I replayed this, and again, just to get the story down for this game, and when you play this casually, I replayed this and almost cried at this very ending again. But yeah, we're gonna fly back just so we cannot fly any faster than this, so this is a perfect time for like a couple more donations to be read at this point, as well as when we go in to talk to everybody back at Havenholm. Alright, so we're gonna roll down in here. And then Patch is going to get a little bit of his rest that he wanted. So we're going to get one more terror mail, and that terror mail is going to show us how a Chimeragon was made. We don't know how Air was able to send it, but we just know that she sent it. So here, he's just so tired, he just needs a little bit of a rest here. He's gonna collapse, get a little bit of a sleep. Then we're gonna be sent over the terror mail that tells us how it was made. But he's just gonna stand up. He just needed a little bit of a rest, like I told you. But in all reality, though, this is where I almost lose it every single time when I'm playing casually. We take him to the dragon graveyard, where they put all the dragons to rest, and Patch is dying. Because of his old age. And so, with that, we're going to see that this is an egg. This is the egg we saw at the very beginning of the game, if you recognize it. And we're going to realize that that dragon, at the very beginning, the egg, is actually the same Chimeragon that was Air's, that was stolen by G, that we flew back. He helped save us. Excuse me, helped save us, and then was reborn again like a phoenix. So, yeah, that's what Chimeragons do. And with that, all we have is a bunch of mashing for dialogue, and that'll be the end of the game. So I want to thank LOD, Lost Speed Gaming, for finding most of the tricks in this game. MOD366 once again for finding some of the tricks, and C Average for playing the game, and everybody else that's played this game for the speedrun to help it be what it is today. And otherwise, this game would never be as fast as it is now. We have a couple more cutscene, or a couple more dialogue boxes here. And there we go. That was Dreamworks Dragons Dawn and New Riders, done very quickly. If you enjoyed this game, I'd really like to see it in the marathon. It is by far one of my favorite speed runs to run ever. I love to show it off at any point I can. And I want to thank Outright Games for making this wonderful, fantastic game. But anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you at the marathon.